Welcome. What's good? Week 34, Wednesday, August 23rd. Let's go. What's good? Welcome. This is a re-record. I just recorded a vlog and then I thought I'll re-record it because I realised I rambled. I know I always ramble, but I rambled a bit much. I don't know, I think it was okay, but I missed out a few key things that I wanted to say. So firstly, thank you. There's been a lot of nice responses on the songs lately. There was a long patch, it feels like there was a long patch where there was like zero comments or likes, interactions, and very few views, and it's kind of hard to stay motivated when you're like working so hard to put these songs out and then you put it out and you see like nothing happens. So yeah, it's been really nice, like, because the last few weeks it feels like there's been a lot more comments, there's been a lot more people commenting on the songs and talking, which is really cool. It's validating, it's beautiful, it makes me feel good, so thank you for that, I appreciate it. What else? I wanted to talk about this. Some of you will know it, some of you won't. I know I've mentioned it in a vlog before. I was writing a book last year. I literally took a job when I was in China, the last job I had, and I was choosing between two or three different schools, and the main motivation in the job I took, not only the boss was lovely, it wasn't the main motivation. There were a lot of motivations that meant I took that job. But one really good thing that I liked was a super long lunchtime. So I used to start at like 8 a.m. No, I had to be there at 8. And then I'd teach like a class at 8:30. And I'd teach like 4 classes in the morning or something like that. And then two classes or 3 classes in the morning. And at 11:30, I could leave. So after 3.5 hours, I could leave at 11:30, and I didn't have to be back until 2 p.m. And I didn't have to teach a class until 2:30. So technically, that's like a 3-hour lunch break every day. I took that job, and every day I took my laptop in my bag to work, and I went and I sat in one of the restaurants around the corner where I could get a coffee and some food, and I wrote for like 2 hours straight every day. And I think it worked out, I was averaging loosely like 2,000 to 3,000 words a day. So I was writing like 10 to 15,000 words a week, every week. And basically I've got 200,000 words now. I've got 200,000 words of a book that I was planning to write, that I never finished. And my original plan was like, I just started writing random stories about isolated incidents, like things that I think are interesting that have happened in my life through different stages of it. And I was going to just write all these individual stories and then try and piece them together like a Tarantino flick, scattered, stick them together. But the more I wrote, I kept writing more stories about China because it felt relevant. I guess when I was thinking about sharing it with people back home, I thought, well, I'll talk about the things that they don't know. I'll talk about the things that people at home will find strange or will just not be familiar with. And then I decided maybe that's what the book is. Maybe the book is like the story, just the story of me going to China and everything that happened, living through a pandemic as a student and as a teacher, working as a teacher and being a student and adjusting to the culture and learning the language and everything that happened. It was crazy, I'm not gonna lie. It was absolutely insane, and it's almost like frustrating that nobody cares. Because it's just like, but it's probably good, because if someone ever really did pick my brain about China, I think I'd never shut up. I think I've just got too much to say, which is also why it makes sense to put it in a book. But yeah, and I was so motivated by it. It was like literally the main focus I had when I was still in China. It was the book. And I was driven, and I knew, I was like, I'm going to get back to England, I'm going to finish the book, and I'm going to get published, I'm going to do that. And I know where I screwed up to an extent. I think I screwed up because when I came back, I applied for Arts Council funding. And then while I was waiting for the decision on the Arts Council funding, I stopped working on the book. Because I thought, well, if the funding comes back, then it's going to be enough for me to finish the book. The funding's going to cover me for enough time that I'll get the book finished. So I thought, I won't work on it now. And I felt like I'd get the funding, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I'd get the funding, but I didn't. And then like the motivation for working on the book was completely zapped, because it was like, well, I hadn't worked on it, and now I'm like, well, these people don't believe in it. They don't believe in it enough to support it. Maybe it's no good. Maybe it doesn't matter. So it just kind of went on the back burner. and I hope I'll finish it at some point, but it's just, you know, I can't prioritize it right now. Especially I come back and I start working on music, which is so much fun, and it's like, I mean, I fit better in music, obviously. I think I'm definitely more entitled to a position making music around rap and hip hop than I am entitled to a position in the world of literature. You know, it fits closer. And I think that's the bottom line, that I feel like if I was to put the book out, I'd have to go fighting again. I'd have to go fighting for myself in a scene where like everybody knows more than me about this scene. It'd be a point. I'd just be an idiot, really. I feel like that. I feel like I'd be an idiot to put all of my eggs onto the book and try and balance them while I try to get it published. But I mean, it's there, and I did work on it, and I worked on it some more, and I arranged the stories, and I started drafting like from the beginning, and I think I've got like a chunk of like 30,000 words that takes me from like the idea of wanting to leave England to like the first 6 months of being in China. I think I've got that in a story that flows, because I wrote it all as individual incidents, and I had to go back to tie them together and make all the edits so that they flow naturally and don't stop and start like individual stories. But yeah, they exist, and I'm really proud of it, but I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I can't prioritize it now. If someone would come to me and be like, here's a load of money, finish the book, I'd be hyped and I'd do it. But I can't. I got other priorities, and you know, and it's just the way it goes. But it exists. So maybe there is a project, you know. I think I spoke about this briefly as well. I don't think I went into detail, but it's very unlikely that me and Juxta will still be doing the one a week in 2024. I'd love to, we'd both love to, but like, it's a lot of work for no money, and we both need to support ourselves. We both have commitments that we need to hold down. So like, it's, unless something crazy happens, unless we blow up, and yeah, if you're really sad about the one a week stopping, then go and blow up the channel, blow up the Spotify's, so we make enough money, and we'll do it forever. That's no problem. I'm happy to do that. But yeah, it's very unlikely we'll stop, and then next year there'll be new projects. I don't know what. An album, probably. An album that we actually work on. And I think we could make a good album. Because I think if we took, what have we released now, 33 songs? I think if we took 10 songs from that 33, I think we could have a really strong album. So yeah, we'll work on that. And maybe the book will become a podcast. I was thinking this. A friend of mine pitched the idea to me actually, and I really liked it. But I was thinking like, what if basically I just arrange the book into hour-long chunks and I narrate them, and then I use like AI to generate images or visuals that I can put, and then we can YouTube it, and yeah, and I think that could work. I think that could work, and it would be a more accessible avenue for me to go down, I believe, rather than trying to have meetings with book publishers and convince them that I'm worth like a risk. So yeah, there is going to be that. I mean, we'd need to use the AI for the videos, because like all these stories are set in China, and there's nowhere around here that I could pass off as China, and there's not enough Chinese people either. So yeah, we'll have to get on that. So yeah, I wanted to air that though, because I feel like a lot of people ask me about the book, and since I've stopped working on it, I just kind of shrug it off, and I'm kind of embarrassed because I was so motivated, and then I lost all that motivation. But everything changed, right? Everything changed when I left China. Everything, nothing stayed the same. So I guess it makes sense. But yeah, that's it. I think that's about everything I was going to talk about. I spoke about the book. I spoke about what projects we might be on in the future. Thank you again for the support. I've got to make the video for the next song tonight. This week's song is another like Chinese and English one, and I need to try and make the video with the subtitles again. And I've asked my friend in China. I've sent her. She hasn't corrected my Chinese. Like everything you hear on the song, everything you hear me say, that's me. I wrote that, so if there's any mistakes in the Chinese, it's going to be in the bit I'm saying. But what I did is I sent my friend the translation I did of the English that I'm rapping, and I wrote the Chinese and sent that to my friend, because I'm like, that's the bit that people are going to read, the subtitles, the Chinese subtitles for the English lyrics, and I want them to be clear. So I sent that to my friend and just asked if she could fix any big mistakes. If there's small mistakes, it's fine. I'm a foreigner speaking Chinese, I'm gonna make mistakes, but I want people to understand it. So yeah, and I think I did pretty well. She didn't fix that much, so I think I've still got a respectable level of Mandarin, reading and writing, I guess, and translating. But yeah, I hope you like it anyway. I sent it to Juxta, I sent a voice message to Juxta, and he got excited. He was gassed, like he's never been that gassed before. I've never ever sent him a vocal to a song and had the response I had from him with this song for week 34. I don't know what it's called yet. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Check it out. I hope you like it. I hope you like it as much as Juxta does. I could do these vlogs for an hour, I swear down. But I won't. Not yet. We'll see. Be good.